Happy Sunday, everybody. Steve here. How's everybody doing today? So, need I say it, another sunny day here in Abu Dhabi. Of course, summer's coming. Got up to 98 Fahrenheit the other day in March. So, summer's coming. I just wanted to share some stuff today. I was driving along the other day. And now, I'm from South Carolina. And we always kind of joke about South Carolina drivers and how terrible they are. Wendy, no offense, I'm sure you're not. But this is like another level here. And they aren't necessarily bad drivers here. They're just very, very aggressive, very aggressive. So as I drive along, I find that I get angry a lot driving along. Seeing people weaving in and out, just ridiculous, you know? And I'm just like, why drive like that? I mean, to get you there 2 minutes earlier than you would have gotten there if you just drove like with the flow, you know? Weaving in and out, flashing lights and everything else. It makes me angry. And standing in lines and people being slow, and I see, you know, like you're in line at to get coffee at the drive-thru, and you see the person in front of you like chatting, and I'm just like, look at that, just get your coffee and go. I was riding along with Arlene, and I'm just like, I think I'm becoming a crotchety old man. And she goes, becoming? I think you already are. So, I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I turned 54 in July. 54. I just never imagined, I can't even imagine that. It's like that country song Dina Carter says, you know, I remember when 30 was old. And boy, anyway, so looking back, thinking about the good old days, I just wanted to share, I've got this Faith Alone devotional, and I read this one the other day, and I thought of, I read this and I thought about that, and I thought of something funny my dad once said to me. But it's from July 3rd devotional. So the verse is from Ecclesiastes 7:10. Do not say, why were the good old days better than these? For it is not wise to ask such questions. Right? So we often start complaining when things are worse, or things are worse now than they ever were. But we shouldn't talk like this. Elderly people tend to say, when I was a child, everything was better. They are the people who praise the days gone by, as one poet calls them. But the author of Ecclesiastes says this isn't true. Things never really went that well. We only realize how bad things are now because as we grow older, the number of things that annoy us also increases. And that's true. My patience, to pray for that. My patience seems to run thin sometimes. Yeah, children don't pay attention to news about someone deceiving or murdering someone else. They keep on playing, running, and riding. They get the worst thing in the world is when someone steals another's marbles. Only then do they become angry. But when they become adults, they become sensitive to the troubles and disloyalty of people around them. They get angry when a horse breaks a leg, when cattle don't fat properly, and so on. The world's always been filled with troubles, but we haven't always been aware of them all. When we were children, nothing bothered us. Our lives remained relatively calm, but the world has always been wicked. Therefore, make sure you have a quiet, peaceful heart. Don't become upset when you see these evils. Though you can't change the world, make sure you are changed into a new person. Now, think about that. And something my dad said, we're talking, and I was talking one day about, today, this or that, or this is wrong. And I'm like, it's not like the good old days, is it, Dad? And he said to me, he goes, the only people that talk about the good old days are the people that didn't live in them. And he goes, they weren't so good. And my dad, he always has had a sharp wit, and it just cracks me up thinking about it. And it's true. I mean, we look on back, and as time passes, it tends to soften the edges of things that, in the current moment seem very sharp and jagged. But as time passes, it tends to sharpen those edges, doesn't it? We tend to look a little bit more fondly on the good old days, right? So, but it was something else somebody told me one time too. We were looking at I was looking at cars going by, and it was like a muscle car from the 60s or something, and it was an older guy talking about it, and drove by, and I was like, man, oh, that's awesome, you know, but you don't see too many of those around. And he goes, yeah. He goes, there's a reason people didn't buy those cars back then, because they aren't comfortable. It's true. I mean, these hot cars, you know, with the stiff suspension, all, man, they aren't comfortable. And the older that I get, my wife just thinks it's the funniest thing. I'm like, my dream is like, get me a big old cruiser, big Lincoln or something, you know, that just oozes down the street, nice comfortable ride that just floats down the road. You know, this all the bumps and stuff. The older I get now, I'm just like, oh, no, that's not what it, like everybody wants a Jeep when they're in their early 20s, right? But you ride in them and you realize, well, they ain't that comfortable. You don't ever see old guys like me riding Jeeps, do you? No, we're the ones driving the Lincolns or whatever. So anyway, I read that devotional. I thought of that couple of funny stories. And that's just, I wanted to share that. Just thinking about that and just realizing, I mean, you do the best you can in the moment, right? And looking back at the good old days or why, and you know, does it make us discouraged looking back on, you know, boy, I wish things were like they were. Well, you know, they weren't that good back then. You know, life is life, and it's things going on, you know? So there's certain things I think that as a society we've changed, and things have changed, and you could see that obviously disturbingly. Just look at the recent NCAA women's swimming championship. It's hard to imagine something like that happening about 60 years ago, isn't it? I don't think it would have. So in that sense, maybe they were the good old days, you know. Anyway, I hope you have a great Sunday. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Over and out.